Hello, today I'm making zucchini risotto bites. First I'm putting some shredded zucchini and I'm just putting a little bit of onion and I'm kind of cooking it a little bit so it's not completely raw. And then once it is cooked, I'm going to put some already cooked rice. This rice was cooked in a vegetable stock, so the flavor of the vegetables is already in the rice. And once you put it in the zucchini and the onions, we're gonna add some mozzarella cheese so it has a nice pull to it. And we're gonna add Parmesan cheese so it has a nice flavor to it. And then once we're done with that, we put it in the fridge to let it cool and kind of harden. And then after it's cooled, we roll it into balls and then coat it in some breadcrumbs and then fry it.
Alright, we will do one at a time, and then the next step I will video a few things, okay? Come back. Thank you. She's adding rice now. But when are you going to add cheese? After some time?
After it's all heated up, you put a lot of cheese in it, so it binds everything together inside. And then once you've added the cheese and once it's cooled, you can roll it up into a ball, and then once you bread it, it'll hold everything inside because the cheese melts when you fry it. So then the outer will be really crispy, and then the inner would be really soft and then cheesy and then yummy.
Okay, alright. We'll come back.
So we've added the zucchini and the rice together. Now we're going to add the cheese to help bind it together. So we have 2 cheeses here. We have Parmesan cheese for flavor, mozzarella cheese for a nice stretch and cheesy texture. So we're gonna put the Parmesan cheese first. Usually you'll put the cheese that is harder and takes more time to melt first, and then follow up with the more softer cheese, which is mozzarella.
Cheese adre devre gati.
It is a cheese fried thing.
Whoever eats, they have a good taste, but a lot of people are worried. But eating less would be a good idea rather than compromising on the amount of cheese, right? I love you.
It's okay if the cheese is not all melted yet. Once you fry it again, it's gonna all melt together, so.
Alright.
We're gonna put some basil in here. Very little because you don't want it to be overpowered. Now we're going to put Italian seasoning in here also. And then mix it up. Ideally you would do it before you put in the cheese, but it's also okay if you do it now. You just have to spend a little bit more time mixing it. And also it's gotten a lot more thicker and it's more congealed, I guess, and because of the cheese. And then after you mix the basil together, you can take a small baking dish, and then you can take this, put it down, and then spread it out evenly across it. And then once you've spread it evenly, you put it in the fridge to cool, and then once it's cooled, you can then roll it into balls.
Is it should be a rectangular shape, or is it Australia, India, or any other shape?
You just want it kind of flat so it,
Flat,
it cools faster.
So you don't worry about the shape here?
No. Because you're gonna shape it after it's cool.
Oh, cool.
You don't want it because it's hard to handle when it's hot because you don't want to burn yourself, you know?
Okay.
Okay. And then you put it in the fridge to cool.
Where you want to, no, not the deep freeze, right? Just,
No, just like cooling it in the fridge.
okay.
So we've rolled the rice into balls. So now we're gonna coat the filling. First, you want to keep one hand dry and then one hand kind of wet. Otherwise, it's gonna get really messy. So you'll dip it in the flour first, so the egg has something to stick to. Then you would dip it in the egg, and then when you dip it into the egg, the breadcrumbs have something to stick to. And then make sure you keep your hands separate so it doesn't get messy. And then you can put it back in the egg mixture one more time to make sure you can get a more thick coating.
Okay. So what are you going to do after that?
We're gonna fry it and then serve with some marinara sauce. So now we've taken like the fried ball, we've coated it. Now we're going to fry it until it's this golden brown color.
Please, oh, it looks gorgeous here. Did you want some mint? We have mint too.
No. Mint's too much. It's too much. It's a lot of basil's good. It's not good. So I've grabbed a plate to plate the zucchini risotto bites. This is how they've turned out. And then you put them on the sauce. They go really well with marinara sauce. So I can put it there.
It's gonna roll over.
No, it's not.
It's not gonna roll over.
Put it here, and then basil. And then I fried some basil, and then you can put it on top.
You can keep it in the side if you want to.
Yeah. On top.
More? One more basil?
No, actually should be fine. Perfect.
Smells good.
And then you finished your risotto bites.
Ankita, look here.
Whatever.